Good afternoon, class. My name is Miss Ramirez, and today's lesson is called Converting Base 5 to Base 10. So let's go ahead and pull out our math notebooks and write these definitions down. The first term I would like to go over is base 10. The base 10 system is what we use in everyday life to count things. It has 10 digits from 0 to 9. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The base system we are going to be using today is called the base 5 system. The base 5 system is a little bit different. It only has 5 digits from 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This number right here is called the subscript, and it tells me what base we will be using. We will be using base 5 today. Right here we can see that the base is 5, and that would be the big number. This little number here would be called the power. So how would we solve this? Well, what you do is you multiply the base by the number of times the power is. So in this case, it is 3. So it would be 5 times 5 times 5, because the 5 is the base, the 3 is the power, and that's how many times you are going to multiply it by. So 5 times 5 is, good job, 25, times another 5 would be, good job, 125. So over here, this is called the conversion tables for the base 5 to base 10. So let's go ahead and go over it. The first row is the base raised to the power. In this case, it is base 5. The second row is the place value for each column. The third row would be filled with the digits from the problem we are working on, and the fourth row is a calculation of the place value of multiplied by the digit. So I had already written these math steps down so you can follow along. So the first problem we are going to go over today is 1, 2, 3, 1 with the 2 base 5. So let's go over this together. First thing we're going to do is write the powers of each of the 5s, numbering them backwards. So let's start on the right hand side. 0, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the second step would be calculate the value of each power and write it underneath in row 2. So right here, you have 5 to the 0 power. Any number to the power of 0 would be 1. Here we have 5 to the first power. Any number to the power of 1 would be the same number. So in this case, it would be 5. Here, we have 5 to the second power. 5 times 5 is 25. So here we have 5 to the third power. 5 to the third power would be 125. So today's problem would be written right here in row 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1. And then what we do on the next step would be we are going to multiply the numbers in row 2 and 3 and write the answers in the box. So 1 times 1 would be 1. 3 times 5 would be 15. 25 times 2 would be 50. 125 times 1 would be 125. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add up all the numbers in this fourth row. So 125 plus 50 plus 15 plus 1. Can anyone tell me what that would be? 191. So let's go ahead and go over another problem. So here is another example. You would do all the same things we had just done using these steps if you forget what comes next. So let's go ahead and write down the powers starting from the right hand side. So this would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So the second step would be calculate the values. So any number to the power of 0 would be 1. Any number to the power of 1 would be the same number. So this would be 5. 5 to the second power would be 5 times 5. Good job, 25. So here we have 5 to the third power, and that would be 125. So the next step would be to write down the digits from the problem you're solving. And what we're going to try to convert is 2013. So we're going to go ahead and write this down right here in row 3. And now the next step is to calculate the values by multiplying row 2 and 3, and we're going to get row 4. So 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 1 would be 5. Any number times 0 would be 0. 125 times 2 is 250. So the next step would be to add up all these numbers in the fourth row. So 250 plus 0 plus 5 plus 3. Can anyone tell me what that is? Good job. 258. So the answer to this problem is 258. So let's go ahead and go over one more problem. For the last problem you're going to go over would be, let's try to convert 1342. So the first step would be write the powers of each of the 5s, numbering them backwards, starting on the right hand side. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. The second step would be to calculate the value of each power and write it right here in row 2. So like I said, any number raised to the power of 0 would be, can anyone tell me? Good job, 1. Any number raised to the power of 1 would be the same number that the base is. So this would be 5. 5 to the power of 2 would be 25. And here, 5 to the power of 3 would be 125. Right here is when we would write in the digits from the problem you're trying to solve. So here in row 3, we would write 1, 3, 4, 2. So what you do now is you would multiply row 2 and 3 to get row 4. So 2 times 1 would be 2. 4 times 5 would be 20. 25 times 3 would be 75. 125 times 1 would be 125. Can anyone tell me what we do next? Good job. What we do next is we add up all the numbers in this bottom row to get our answer. So 125 plus 75 plus 20 plus 2, and this would be our answer. Can anyone tell me what 125 plus 75 plus 20 plus 2 would be? Anyone? Good job. The answer would be 222. So, are there any questions so far? Alright, well, what we're going to do now is we're going to work on some practice problems. So, go ahead and get in your groups and work for about 15 minutes on these. Alright, and I'm going to need 2 volunteers to help me pass out these worksheets. So once again, I'll give you about 15 minutes to work on these.